Now coming to the third type, that is the feminist history. Now during those time there were many significant, for a significant period of time there were many male scholars, but none of them wrote about the women of that time. And to highlight the women during those time was also a very major task, and this was faced by the feminist historians. And also one more work was necessary, that during those time whatever women were writing, a complete, we can say, collection of their work was also necessary. And it was also necessary to rethink that what is going to be the women's position in history. They cannot be what they were before the independence. Now when everything was advancing, even their position should change. Now among the women authors writing about women in 19th century CE, we have Tarabhai Shinde, who was the foremost one. She wrote attacking the male dominated social system. This system, this social system where the man controls the woman, who has made? It has been made by the man. It's not made by the God. So she attacked that system. She also wrote against the caste system. She attacked that system. And her book, Stri Purush Tulna. Stri means woman, Purush means man, Tulna means comparison. That is comparing the man and woman. She published it in 1882. And that is known as the first feminist book in India. In 1888, the book written by Pandita Ramabai was published, entitled The High Caste Hindu Woman. One more historian, Pandita Ramabai, she wrote a book, she was a writer, The High Caste Hindu Woman. She wrote about the life of the Hindu woman of the high caste. The feminist literature of the post-independence era concentrated on many other issues like the employment of the women. Now they wanted to go for work. So how was their employment? And what treatment they got over there at their workplace? Because at the workplace, men were treated in a different way, women were treated at a different way. So she wrote about that. And also their right to the political equality, whether they are having the right to vote, do they have the right to stand for elections, etc. And among the recently published feminist literature, we have Meera Kosambi's book, Crossing Thresholds. Threshold means a boundary. When we have to do something great, there are certain restrictions in our path which we have to break and go ahead. Those restrictions, those boundaries are known as threshold. So crossing the threshold, like when a woman goes out for working in spite of having children, so there are so many things she has to sacrifice and then go. So we say that now she has crossed all her barriers, or she is crossing the thresholds and doing the work. Feminist essays in the social history is also very important, because in the essays we have the life stories of women like Pandita Ramabai and Dr. Rukma Bai, who was the first practicing lady doctor of India. And when you read about these ladies, other ladies also get motivated, they get inspired. Now, a lot of literature is available which unfolds the viewpoint of Dalit women also in Maharashtra. Dr. Sharmila Rege's work is very appreciable in this context. She has written a book, Writing Caste, Writing Gender. Means I am writing about caste system and I am also writing about the gender. Gender means male or female. So she was writing that along with the caste, how the gender exploitation changes, like women of upper caste and women of lower caste, how were the difference in their lives. And reading in that book, it was the Dalit women's testimonies were there. Testimonies means when we talk to somebody and what they say, then we write. That is known as testimonies. That is a formal written or spoken statement. ऐसे नहीं कि I think उसने ऐसा बोला होगा. They go speak to that, and what she says they go on recording, and that they are going to write it in the book. So there are many Dalit women's testimonies which are included in her essays on the autobiography of the Dalit woman. Next you can see a orange book, a orange box, in which it is written about Govind Sakharam Sardesai, who was a historian, and he wrote a book, Marathi Riyasat, and that had become very famous, and it was so famous that people started calling him as Risayatkar. he wrote about the Maratha rule. And he published several volumes of this Maratha history. Now, there have been a number of Indian historians who wrote without embracing a particular ideology. We told that there are three ideologies. One is the Marxist one was the subaltern, and the feminist. Now, there will be one author जो खाली lady है वो सिर्फ lady के ही बारे में लिखेगी. तो we will say that she is a feminist writer. One person will stick to Karl Marx ideology. We will say he is a Marxist historian. But there were many other historians and writers who did not stick to any one ideology. They used to write about feminism also. They used to write about Marxist also. Variety. I mean, they didn't stick to anyone. And among them, such historians who did not stick to any one ideology were Sir Jadunath Sarkar, Surendranath Sen, Riyasatkar G.S. Sardesai, and Triambak Shankar Shejwalkar. Now, these names are famous. In the recent times, historians like Yashwant Dinkar Phadke, Ramchandra Guha, etc., they have also contributed too much into the historiography of the modern India. These are the recent historians. So you come to know from the Indian historiography that how much it has been influenced by the social and the political movements. It seems that some part of the Indian historiography was also developed outside the influence of these movements. Now, when you read some of the books of the historians, you can come to know that how much the political change, that is the British rule, then getting independence, changed their writings. You will find many other historians, their topics was unaffected by these changes. Okay, so this ends the lesson.